What is important to drive customers through a digital campaign process?
That's a good question. I think the most important thing to drive a customer through a campaign is actually to skip doing campaigns and turn the whole process upside down and say, how can we be relevant to the customer? And if we can show enough relevance, we'll get our message through and we'll hopefully inspire them to actually purchase our products.
Skip doing campaigns?
Yes. I think that you can still do campaigns, traditional above-the-line campaigns, mass media. It does have an effect. But what we see is that we are being overexposed to campaigns in our everyday life, and they are becoming increasingly difficult to separate from one another. So what we need to do is we need to be more relevant, and through the relevance we will be able to maintain our message in the top of mind with our customers, right?
So be more relevant.
Be more relevant, which means that you need to think about going from a campaign framework into a more continuous program. We don't know when our customers are at certain stages in their buying process or their behavior in whatever situation they're in. But what we do know is that we need to be where they are when they are in a given state, right? So communication needs to match the needs of the customer at that precise touch point.
So, in other words, a shift from a campaign-oriented way of looking at things into a much more customer-centric way of looking at things. Excellent. Just to be really concrete here, what happens after a customer clicks, or a possible customer clicks on one of your banners?
We have different things can happen. We have banners that lead to landing pages, and the landing pages carry specific messages, certain propositions. It has different call to actions. But clicking on a banner could also result in, let's say, you getting a price calculation on a specific product. So there are different options for us. It could also be that we were using the display for a more traditional branding purpose, where you would maybe be led to a page where you could download a white paper or maybe download the white paper directly from the display.
So in many ways, there's a lot of different opportunities to what can happen. Yeah. I know you just described how you're actually moving away from the campaign focus, but nevertheless, can you describe a well-working campaign flow?
Yes. One of the current or just ended well-working campaign flows we have experienced was our IT criminality insurance, which is a product that can help you overcome the hazards of hackers. We provided the customers with a video with a consultant, an expert consultant on the subject that told them what they could do right here and now to safeguard their digital assets a little bit more. And then we provided them with a more extensive white paper they could download, where we elaborated much more in depth in what the threats and the mitigation possibilities are. We put that on LinkedIn, which at least in Denmark is probably the best social media for businesses, and we saw a really good response on that.
So what made it well working?
Shareable content. I mean, everybody's saying it. There's nothing really new there. It's content marketing. That's really what it's all about.
And how do you engage the customer in the process?
How we engage the customer? Well, again, the whole idea is to say that which type of customer is this relevant to, and where are they? What are their movements online, and can we spot them in some of these places, and can we actually approach them in these spaces as well? And LinkedIn was one of those.
So what could be examples of how a customer gets engaged in an online banner, for instance, or in any kind of digital advertising?
An example of how a customer engages in a banner. We've tried everything, actually. We've tried to be very creative. We've tried to be very fluffy. We've tried to be very concrete. We've tried to be very tactical, very strategic. And if you take together all these experiences, the one thing that comes to mind is that it's about relevance. I need to capture you where you are in the right state of mind with the right message, and it's really basic. It's probably what every marketing book is saying on page 1, but that's also what works today.
You mentioned to me earlier a calculator. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yes. Let's say that you want to buy a house. One of the things that you need to figure out is what will it then cost me to insure that house, and if we can deliver that price to you when you're visiting a real estate agent's website or a real estate portal, we have the relevance, and you can immediately, when you find the house of your dreams, you can see instantly, well, is it at all possible for me to actually purchase this house and pay the insurance afterwards? So, it would be the same if you purchase a car. How much would it cost me? One thing is the initial cost of the car, but then there's the total cost of ownership, the running cost of the insurance, etc. So it plays an important part, and we put it where it's relevant for the customer. That's really it.